Hello family, it is Maggie and I'm back, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today I am telling another story that again is long overdue, but I was too scared to tell it like when it did originally happen, which was when I was like 15, and I'm not scared of it anymore because I'm far away and it's honestly so stupid. So this video starts back when I was in grade 10, and this kid that we're about to talk about was a year younger than me in grade 9. Let's call him Jonathan. Sure, that works. So I remember the very first day I saw him. He, to me, looked like one of the popular kids. He looked like one of those typical movie teenager guys that you would see beating up some sort of kid, but not like those bullies, more of kind of gives you off a mixture of Bryce from 13 Reasons Why and along with what's his face? What's whatever the other kid's name was in 13 Reasons Why, who was like all on heroin and on drugs and stuff. That's like a type of vibe that he gives you, like the way they look. He's kind of like both of them. Like, I don't know. It's like, okay, but there's a picture of kind of what he looks like. But he seemed to be a really cute kid, and and I wouldn't talk to him because, being me, I am a very introvert person in person. I'm really bad at making friends. I'm really bad at talking to new people. So I just kind of stayed in my lane away from him. Until I had one of my middle school breakups. Again, whatever. That happened, and I just saw him, and he came because he knew the guy that I was dating at the time. And he came up to me and started talking to me, making sure I was okay, and then he started talking about my ex, like, yeah, yada, 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 yada. Like, just telling me stuff that I didn't really need to know. But he was cute, so I kept talking to him, and he was making me laugh, and honestly, I was a little attracted to him. He was kind of cute. And and so we got closer and closer as the days went on, and finally, we just start sitting next to each other, and not next to each other. I sat in front of him, he sat behind me. We didn't have a seating plan, so we just sat wherever. So I started sitting there, and we just started doing our work together, and we started being partners, and it was really nice to have a friend in the same grade. Until one day he asks me on a date. Girls, I don't know who else can relate to this, but have you ever had a guy friend, or if your guy was a girl friend, who you get really close with, you become good friends, you love hanging out with them, but then they get a crush on you and you don't feel the same way, and then it ruins everything. Like, I honestly hate that. It happens to me often. I'm not bragging. It happens. But that's kind of what happened there. And so, to amuse him, I said yes, because I didn't really feel that way for him at all. I thought he was cute, but that was about it. So as a date, we went outside for lunch and just walked around this pond that was by our school. And I fed ducks, and it was nice, it was cute. And then the next day, I guess he assumed that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. It was as if we had been dating for months on end, and I'm pretty sure this was around the first day-ish that we were dating. Which we weren't. He just assumed we were. He decided to try and kiss me, and then he did. And this kid, for such a hotshot looking guy, did not know how to kiss whatsoever. It was like he was trying to eat my face, and it was so, I just was like, what the, like, so obviously at this point I was like, hey, I can't date this guy. I don't even want to. I didn't want to in the first place. And so finally I go and sit outside one day, and he follows me after a while. And as I'm about to say, hey, I don't think this is gonna work, he says the same thing about me. He said it to me, and I was like, what? I was like, wait, this kid was breaking up with me. And I was just, in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay, that works. I do. And, well, a few days go on, a few weeks go by, and he's ignoring me completely. And I thought we had broken up on good terms, which apparently we didn't, is what I thought. And then I finally decided to message him and be like, hey, what's going on? I mean, yeah, we broke up, but we can still be friends, because I hate getting out of a relationship with a nice person and then not being able to just be friends. Like, guys probably are like, oh, just friends, whatever. But you know what? If we can stay in each other's lives and be friends, why not? And so he leaves me on red, and I ask again a few hours later, what's going on? Why are you ignoring me like this? Because, again, he was a good friend, and so finally, this is where it gets weird. He says to me, I'm sorry, but I've been keeping a secret from you, and I can't tell you because it's highly illegal. And I was like, kind of intrigued, because I like weird things, I love movies, I like stories, I like watching stuff with a twist. So of course I was intrigued. I was like, oh, are you sure about that? And he was like, yeah, I can't tell you because it involves you. So I thought maybe it was gonna be something like talking to one of his friends about me or something. Like, I don't know, it just, to me, it sounded like, because he was younger than me, so I just expected it to be something really stupid, which it was, but it was also really scary. And so finally I get him to tell me something, because I was like, hey, look, I don't tell people other people's secrets, it's not my thing. And so finally he's like, okay. I started talking to you because I was sent to kill you. And I was like, like, I was like, what? And so he then says something along the lines of, I will kill your whole family and everyone you love if you tell anyone what I am about to tell you. And I was like, okay. So then he goes on to tell me that his dad is actually like a hitman person, and he gives me some details that kind of seemed like too much, but at this point I don't believe it was real at all. Like, I don't believe what he said was true, and even if it was, I'm across the country and hopefully I'm safe. So and so he keeps telling me, yeah, his dad's a hitman, and his dad he works for his dad because he's in some debt with his dad or something. And he said that his brother doesn't know, and he would hate it if his brother knew, because it would break his heart, and it would break anything he ever believed about him. And so I was like, okay, well, that sucks. Like, he was saying how he didn't want to be in this business, how he didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, well, get the cops involved, which I know now probably isn't the only thing, like, the best. Like, I don't know that situation. What do you do? Anyway, and I was like, tell your mom, do something. And he was like, well, my mom knows. So I'm like, well, no, I'm just blonde. And so the next day, I'm at school, a little bit on edge, because I'm like, well, this kid was planning to kill me. So I was just walking around school, and I see him. He's at the end of the hallway, like this. And so, like any other psychopath freaking teenager kid I walked up to him in the middle of an empty hallway right after the bell had rung for class. But at the time I hated class, so I skipped a lot of class, so I didn't really care. And so I go up to him and I sit in front of him. I sat in front of this. He looks at me dead in the eye and he's like, how are you even sitting here? I was going to kill you. After he says this, I'm like sitting there like, I'm kind of like, awkward situation, but me, I was compassionate, still am, and I wanted to help him because he looked distressed. And so I'm sitting there, and after he says that, I'm kind of frozen in place because normally people don't say that to you, to your face, like that. So I'm just sitting there, and he says to me, I even had it all planned out. And he says to me, when no one's looking, or he'd catch me on a day that I'm walking uptown, which I did every Friday, by the way, take me into an alley, do whatever, and then he would slash my shins so I couldn't run away. And then he said that he would use chloroform or whatever so that I'd pass the frick out. And and then when I wake up, I would have a belt tied around my neck and to a pole, or not a pole, like one of, like something that you would picture in a basement, like one of those, you know what I mean. And like it'd be attached to that, right? So when I woke up in a jolt, I would then strangle myself to death. And I was just sitting there like this, like what? Keisha did her hair. And then after that, I kind of just realized that he was trembling, okay? And I'm just like, in my head, I'm freaking out, obviously, because no one says that to your face, or even thinks it. Like, what psychopath plans out how they're gonna murder you? Oh, right, a murderer, right. Okay, so I then asked him, because he was shaking like this. He was like this, and he's sitting like this, and he was almost crying. And I was like, okay, what's wrong? So he tells me, again with his brother not knowing everything, and with he wanted his brother to be able to know, but he didn't want him to know, because if he knew, then he would see him as a completely different person, and he just didn't want that. And then he was like, I want to get out of this because it's not fun. It's like, and I'm just like, he's saying all of this stuff, and he has a full-on mental breakdown in front of me, like a full-on mental breakdown, which made me a little bit like more scared, because then I was like, wait, so either he is a psychopath and crazy and has made up this whole thing in his mind, or it's true and I'm in a lot of danger. But like either way, I was just like, what? I was just sitting there like, and I didn't know really what to do. I was like, I've never been in this situation, so maybe go to the police or just find something to do, bust your dad, I don't know, like bring him in, get your mom involved, I don't know, do something. Like, I don't know what to do in this situation, like, this is crazy. And so, finally we get up, I go to my class, he goes to his, and the next few days I'm a little on edge by him, because, well yeah, but to him, I'm still a friend, because I was there for him. And, well, he comes, we're in science, and oh, by the way, for this whole time, I'm terrified. I hated walking anywhere. I hated being out for lunch. I hated being alone. I was terrified. I honestly thought at some point, someone, even if it wasn't him, was gonna come out and kill me in a brutal way. And I was like, terrified for such a while. And then I ended up telling one of my friends, which he did say not to do because he'd kill them. But I ended up telling one of my friends, and I was like, hey, you can't tell anyone, because if you do, who knows what could happen. And so I told them, and they were like, Meg, you have nothing to worry about, he's just crazy, like, you're fine, like, he's not gonna come at you and kill you. Like, my friends started treating me like I was kind of crazy myself. And so, finally, I'm sitting in class, the class that we're in every day together, and he comes and sits right there where he normally sits, which he hadn't been doing for the past couple days. And, finally, he says to me, I'm out. And I'm like, what? He's like, I'm out of it. I got the police involved. I got my mom involved. My dad's going back to jail, by the way. Back to jail. And he was saying how, like, the whole thing's busted and all this stuff. Which, to me, I was like, I don't know if it's that easy, but okay. And I was like, okay. Thinking, I'm like, are you still planning on murdering me or what? But after that, I remember him staring at me constantly. Like, I remember we'd be sitting and I was doing my work and he would just stare at me. And at the time I had like peanut butter colored hair. It was blonde up here and then red down here. It was interesting. And I remember him like saying like how much he loved my hair and he'd want to play with it and how pretty I am, blah blah blah. And then after a while I was just kind of shifted away from him because I was like maybe, I don't know, like you planned out my murder, so I kind of don't want to hang out with you anymore. So I didn't. Not like I feel so bad saying that because he obviously had some sort of issues and needed a friend, but I don't think I was supposed to be that friend. So I left his life, and every once in a while we'd see each other, but never talked. And last time I went to visit BC, I actually ran into him on a bus. And I was just sitting there like, huh, my almost murderer is sitting like across from me again. And I'm just sitting there like, And then finally I get off the bus, and when I get off the bus I have to pass him, and I just remember him looking at me with like, his face kind of looked ashamed, and at the same time, I don't know, he just gave off this really creepy vibe, and I was like, okay, bye. And I was getting off to go to my friend, by the way, who I had told about that situation, so that's a thing. But now it's years later, I'm still alive, thank goodness. But if I go missing from this, you'll know why. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you want more videos like this, comment down below, like this video, subscribe, and I have a lot of stories, so hopefully you'll come back for more. All my social media will be down below. So me and Keisha's channel. Keisha? Yeah? Okay. And I will see y'all in the next video.